I made a video before this, but I'm going to try and shorten this one up. It's really controversial subject matter, and I know it's like, well, Shauna, do you have a life? Do you want to get into your myopic world and fix that? No. That's what everybody's doing. It's a big fucking waste of time. It's trying, put the tape back on. Is the tape that, that, let's look at America. America um, is an idea or an ideal that people had. So, I'm pretty sure I'm experiencing, and my lineage, my family, me, we're experiencing this Pluto return of America. See, we're not foreigners. My family was Freemasons, and my great grandpa built this house. Even though he was 70 and he took 2 years to do it, he built this home. He built a lot of things. He innovated road making machinery. My family innovated making railroad spikes. We contributed to the building of America. So now where I'm at as blood from there, and I need to talk fast because my last video they just cut out where I got to the most vital point where I'm trying to say what I was trying to say. It's really hard, Anyway, because this is what needs to happen. America really hasn't formed itself yet, but really let's back up and say the human organism is struggling to get a roll on. And now I just think it's because evolution needs to happen, and that is either being stifled or it's being synthesized, and in perception it's being fed, well, this is the way it is, and we're being taught everything but what is simply happening. So getting back to America and the crisis that we are going to see, it's going to be the final push into a situation where you can see, some people don't know how to deal with anything. So the way they don't they're not going to do the work to look at the truth. So the easy thing to do is just build a wall against it. And that's really what's happening with people who are putting fences up and putting a lock up. More and more, when you're not looking, see, the love looks into the truth really easily because it's a higher vibrational frequency. And the higher vibrational frequency hits every single point that's there. Otherwise, it's just kind of like this, and it'll miss. I mean, if this is a lifetime right here, some people are like this. Whoops, missed it. um, need to graduate into being love. That's something that we have to cultivate. It takes time to cultivate. No, narcissist. Your children are not born just loving you. Narcissists think that attachment development is love. And there's a subtle, it's fun and everything, it's amazing. We can definitely, with food, we string each other out with sugar cubes, and an elephant can wear a tutu and stand on a beach ball in a circus because of attachment development. Really, it's a kind of form of trauma bond mind control. After a while, the truth is with human beings is that there is a natural thing that has to happen or else the child won't survive. And so it does this mimicry. Can you say mimicry? They're just acting like you, kind of like a mirror, blindly. They don't have themselves yet, but they have to move with you. Otherwise, they won't get dinner. Right? You fucking stupid fucking narcissists who, you really don't understand. But I imagine when you do have a kid, they're not coming out speaking. They're using their emotions. Emotions are the smarter ones of your entire physiological makeup and mind. It's to feed your mind what works as far as your outer experiences that are coming at you and how it feels. Very important. There is something that says to knock that back and knock it out, and there's a delicacy of just balance, babes. So when I most recently came up, okay, let's get back to America. But really, it's well, I can only speak for myself and what I'm feeling about it. See, this, okay, so there are foreigners. There are people that aren't related to the Freemasons who actually built the shapes of the buildings, the roads, the railroad tracks that kept pushing forward into the West, and killing people. The Freemasons aren't really the killers of people. Are working with their hands and protractors and stuff like this, and that's their love. They are human beings who are in love. They are love. They are the ones who were preyed upon to slave away, and and see, by the 1920s it became obvious to my great grandpa and grandma, but no, they met later on and kind of swirled together, and they met, I think, in Oklahoma. I think they met, and then they kept traveling west. That's what my grandpa was doing. And anyway, by the time it became the 1920s and my grandmother was born, they knew what caused the depression, which is their so-called leaders who they worked for and trusted so much to even make. See, at the time when the depression was happening, they were refashioning all of the farming machinery, the combines that were cutting. It was less and less human labor, and so they figured we can start lowering the price of wheat, and they can start creating more environmental disaster. And that's precisely what they did. And they use environmental disaster to keep their workers at their dumb down. Otherwise, they would wake up, and they did. They were waking up, right? But it's hard. It's hard because a dust bowl is happening, and it's kind of like what's happening now, but in a different form. A lot of different things environmentally that they're just going like this, and then as well as the good God, ungodly heaven. We've got to find out when this has been happening, that we just stop using natural ingredients like vinegar and things to stay clean here, instead of all of a sudden we're going, yeah, well, I'm sorry, I know I sound like totally like um, Amish or something. It's like we shouldn't be using gas machinery. And so how are you going to clean the oil off of things? But really, babes, I think all this stuff how we use energy, Tesla was trying to prove, and the way that we tune the energy. There's electricity, electromagnetic resonances, where you can heal people. The cell phones, instead of frying their brains and fucking their bodies up, can actually be restoring it. Now, I understand this as a musician, because when you tune your each little string to the 528 vibrational hertz, which is a color. It's a color. I've seen it. If you the E, I don't have, I can try and find it with my ear. Home. If you it'll start vibrating your entire heart chakra, because that's the 528 hertz right there. You have green light right here. The heart chakra is green. So I saw it when I closed my eyes, and I began to. It's strange. I was being initiated over the last 3 years to look at some things. So at one point, I was just fell into, like, I was laying here, and I had my bed over here, and I started going home. It was about the same time, 3:30. It's 4 o'clock in the morning right now. It's the only time you're going to be able to do anything real work in your life, as far as the real life that you're here, your spiritual and in connection with this plane. When you start waking up, you begin to figure out that the daytime activity of people, the way that they're programmed, is to be something equal to a shroud to even the sun's light. Just, you don't notice, because that frequency is so strong now. It's turning night, it's turning day to night, and it turns night to day. Talking about the leaders, the people, like even Freemasons, the people that can concentrate and do high level work daily. And when they get together, they do a massive amount of stuff. These are meditators. These are people that hold secrets of these kind of things about our sleep. The most highly contributing big time thinkers like Tesla himself says, all you need is 3 hours of sleep. You're just resting your body. And I'm pretty sure that their minds, the way that electricity is hooked up and everything, it's not stopping. They're still studying. They're working. But anyway, a lot of people don't know this on this planet, and they're running on one kind of weird, like, biological, it's a look. I get a look of it. You can paint it many ways, but I call it bubbles popping. Just bubbles there, blow up, pop. There, blow up, pop. And like, let's say, like, I had another vision that you can focus really close on the surface of the ocean. It's kind of choppy, and then you could see one. You'll notice individual lights reflecting off the sun. But when you back up, it just disappears, and it disappears inside of a mass of the same kind of lights that are just there. But what about the boat? What about the surfer? What about just that one that surfs right over the top of it? See, that's what Jesus was, or that's who Tesla is. That's who you would be. That's what I am. If you knew what Jesus knew about thine eye, and how powerful you can become. The people that are the mob that I had against me, their will recede. They already know they don't have power because they don't live in Christ consciousness. It's antichrist. So they don't have a foundation. It could be 70 people there, 700, and just one person standing there going, we can take this to the higher courts of law and prove to you that a gosh-dog rat couldn't live in your environment, honeys. Now, this is about gardens. It's about many different fields of gardens. Having said that, please look at this song. The kind of government that we need to put together, what is always and forever going to hold itself together, is the righteous that follow the truth. And if you want to call that God, so be it. But we're going to re-clarify a lot of things. And I'm here to help out with that daring stunt. Which, babes, now I said this a few times, and I'm going to wrap this up now. It's not Sunday anymore. If you imagine, the story of Jesus Christ, if it really does happen, and it does, that when people start poking up and they say, excuse me, like with this mob over here that tried to attack me because, well, they're just nothing but wrong, and they actually gave themselves up. See, the other day, it's like, okay, I'm going to try and forget about this and not keep yelling and putting these posts up, because I'm going to do another action of just having them being notified that, excuse me, you need to pay a fine for not being permitted to do this. And then I want to take it further and say, and we shouldn't be able to do this anymore up here in these areas. It needs to stop sometime. Little by little we do this, and then we purify the waters that way. No excuse from the narcissist saying, well, everybody else is doing it. Sit down. You're a danger. Everybody else on the freeway is going off the cliff. You fucking people are fucking... And can you catch up? Fucking Pluto and Capricorn. One last fucking drill. And I'm here to tell you there are people, it's the Aries in you. It's the Aries in you. Find out where your Aries is. If you're a Libra rising, your Aries is in the 7th house of Libra, which you're going like this. I need to jump out of this fucking shitty relationship. This shitty relationship is not for me. I know it's bad. Do it. The Libra is kind of lazy. It's hard for them. They need to get out of the toxicity. It's itching anyway. The Aries is there in their seventh house saying, nah, we got to get new and we got to jump forward. And has always actually been sitting there going, man, you're fucking lame. Why don't you just get up and go? Do it! That's what Aries says. Aries is the I am. It rules war. That just says, not press through and we're going to put the post here and this is the way. And it's really, it's warrior. Warrior. It's not soldiers. It's in every garden there's a warrior in the center. She is so beautiful. By the time you get to her, there's outskirts and there's a post and then there's a bunch of bullshit going on and people think they can come in. There's apprentices. There's people that really would like to get into the garden. How do they go? They start to know something, knowledge. They get knowledge of that particular field. Please listen to this song. Look at the lyrics.